I still set a place for you without thinking like I do. One more glass beside my own in a house that knows you're gone. There's a sweater on the chair and you're quiet in the air. Everything is where it was, only now it isn't us. I don't mean to hold on, it just happens in the dark. When the body keeps a promise after love has lost its heart. I still set a place for you in the silence in the room, in the part of me that still doesn't know what else to do. I still set a place for you in the life we almost had, and it breaks me how a habit can outlive what we once were. I still buy the kind of bread that you liked with dinner best. Still turn softly with a smile when I hear keys in the hall. Sometimes grief is not a storm, it's the shape of something warm, missing from the smallest things, like a cup, a plate, a ring. No one tells you losing love can look this ordinary. How the worst part is the calm, how the ache can stay so daily. I still set a place for you in the silence in the room, in the part of me that still doesn't know what else to do. I still set a place for you in the life we almost had, and it breaks me how a habit can outlive what we once were. I know you're not coming back, I know the door will stay the door. I know the night is only night and not the sound of you anymore. My hands remember what my heart is trying to learn. Some love does not end loudly, it just keeps waiting at the turn. I still set a place for you, and then I put it back, like I'm cleaning up a memory I can't bear to leave intact. I still set a place for you, though I say I'm moving on. Maybe healing is just missing someone with a little less hope each month. I was doing fine until tonight, until the rain, until the drive, until a stranger at the red light turned and looked like you from the side. I had made it through the morning, made it through the week before, made myself believe that maybe I was not yours anymore. But healing is a fragile thing, it bends with just one memory. And suddenly I'm back inside the version of me that still needs you. I was doing fine until tonight, and now your name is in my food, and all the strength I wore so well is slipping from Can't undo months of trying. I came home and left the lights off, sat beside the window pane, let the room go soft around me, while the tears came in like rain. I did not call, I did not reach. I know better now than that, but knowing does not save a heart from breaking in the familiar path. Some nights are built for missing, some songs are built for pain, some moves just learn to sleep a while, then wake when something shifts. I was doing fine until tonight. Know your name is in my throat, and all the strength I wore so well is slipping from me note by note. I was doing fine until tonight, till the ache came back alive. For the heart, one small moment can undo months of I'll wake up softer, make some coffee, answer texts and call it progress. I am sitting with the old heart, barefoot in a darkened room, trying to survive the truth that I still know exactly how to lose you. I was doing fine until tonight, and maybe that is all. Maybe getting over someone is not a road, just rise and fall. I was doing fine until tonight. Now I'm not, and that is true. Some nights I only miss the past. Some nights I only miss you. Some nights I only miss you. I should not still be crying at a song, at a street, at your name. I should be stronger now than this. I should not shake this way. But grief has its own timing, and love has its own scars. And some nights I still find you in the places I thought were ours. I tell myself it's been enough, but healing has its harder months. I should not still be crying, but tonight I am, with your memory in the curtains and your shadow in my hands. I should not still be crying, but the truth is I still do. Some hearts don't break once, they keep breaking over you. I made it through the daylight, I answered every call. I smiled when I was supposed to, I almost felt nothing at all. Then evening came in slowly, and with it came your face. And suddenly I was right back in that same familiar place. turns the dark into it again. I should not still be crying, but tonight I am, with your memory in the curtains and your shadow in my hands. I should not still be crying, but the truth is I still do. Some hearts don't break worms, they keep breaking over you. I'll call this progress, I'll make coffee and get through the day. Just a person in a quiet room, learning how much pain can stay. I should not still be crying, but I think that's part of this, how the body keeps the sorrow long after the mind resists. I should not still be crying, and yet here I am, it's true. Still finding tears at the edge of losing you. I have not called, but I have wanted to. On the long drive home, on the bad days, on the good days, on the nights I hate being alone. I have not called, but your number still is beneath my skin. Like some doors do not disappear, even when you never walk through them again. I know betting, I know the cost, but longing does not care what it has lost. I have not called, but I wanted to, more times than I can say, just to hear your breathing once and throw the whole night away. I have not called, but I wanted to, and maybe that is enough to prove some hearts stay open long after love gives up. There are words I could still offer, there are tears I could still waste, there are questions with no healing in them, still waiting in one place. But silence has become my mercy, the last thing I can keep. When loving you no longer means you belong anywhere near me, so I stay still and let it pass. Though some nights how a wound stops bleeding. Feels more like choosing pain I can't survive. I have not called, but I've wanted to, and that is where I live, between the hand that reaches out and the hand that learns to quit. I had not called, but I have wanted to, and maybe I always will. Some love still not asked to return. They only ask to be felt still. I have not called, I have not called. I was safer when I had you, not from the world, but from myself, from the long nights in my own head, from carrying everything alone. You had a way of making even the worst days smaller, a hand on my back, a quiet word, and suddenly I could breathe. I did not know how much of peace had wrapped itself around your name and me. I was safer when I had you. Now every day feels wide. Now every small heart feeling has nowhere left to hide. And that is hard to say, because love was not perfect, but it still held me that way. I'll make it through the mornings, I answer what I must, but evening always shows me what's left when there is no us. It's not the fire I miss now, it's not the dream or thrill, it's how the world grew gentler whenever you stood still. Some lost us take your sleep, some take the ground beneath your feet. I was safer when I had you. Now every day feels wide. Now every small heart feeling has nowhere left to hide. I was safer when I had you, and that is hard to say, because love was not perfect, but it still held me that way. more than your kiss. I miss the version of life that came with this. That is why I still fall through when the night gets long, and I think of you. Some leave your whole world still. I only wanted one more ordinary day, one more coffee, one more drive, one more evening on a sofa, one more version of our life. Not some perfect movie ending, not a grand repair or sign, just one more quiet afternoon before you stopped being mine. I think the heart is simple then, it only wants what it has been. I only wanted one more ordinary day, one more chance to not yet know, one more time to hear your footsteps coming slowly down the hall. I only wanted one more ordinary day, and maybe that is grief, not wanting miracles, just one more small relief. Now I think about the moments I barely noticed while they lived, how the smallest kind of happiness can be the hardest thing to miss. I would have held them differently if I had known the cost, but love never marks the last time until the last time is lost. Too late, too plain, too full of all I cannot make. If I only wanted one more ordinary day, one more chance to not yet know, one more time to hear your footsteps coming slowly down the hall. I only wanted one more ordinary day, and I asked too much. A memory of music of the dark to give me back your touch. Only one more ordinary day, and still I do sometimes, because ordinary love can be the hardest thing to leave behind. has been. I still think of you too often, still fall through now and then. But there are hours now that do not end with me in pieces. I would not call it healing, not yet, not all the way. But maybe it is something that looks a little like a break. I am learning how to miss you less, though I still miss your deep. Though some nights your memory still comes for all my sleep. I am learning how to miss you less, and maybe that is enough to call this broken heart of mine a little less undone by love. I made coffee in the morning and did not think of you till noon. I almost smiled at death and hated how I noticed it too soon. It is strange the things we measure after someone leaves our life. How much air, how many tears, how many hours we survive. One day, one room, one breath, less of you. I am learning how to miss you less, though I still miss you deep. Though some nights your memory still comes for all my sleep. I am learning how to miss you less, and maybe that is enough to call this broken heart of mine a little less undone by love. Forgetting this is not no longer carrying this slow kind of mercy. Find gifts to people still I am learning how to miss you less, and still I say your name inside my head sometimes, like touching something made of flame. I am learning how to miss you less, and that will have to do, because I don't think I will ever be the kind of over you. You tell me not to overthink, like that has ever helped at all. Like I'm supposed to trust the quiet when your feelings barely call. You make distance look so harmless, like I should not read between. But women like me survive on noticing every little change in things. You say I'm too emotional, maybe that part is true, but I was never like this before I started loving you. I hate how calm you are when I'm coming apart, how you stand there like a closed door while I hand you my heart. I hate how calm you are left to lose. I ask you what is wrong between us. You say nothing's wrong tonight, but nothing wrong can still feel cruel when love won't look you in the eye. I am always the first to tremble, always the first to name what you leave floating in the air like acid, and I call it pain. I know I feel too much, I know I say too much, but silence from the one you love can turn your blood to dust. I hate how calm you are when I'm calling apart, how you stand there like a closed door while I hand you my heart. I hate how calm you are, like know that this cuts through, like I'm the only one here with something left to the one who still reacts, the one who cries in bathrooms, the one who still wants that. You wear that perfect stillness like it makes you stronger somehow, and I swear you act the breaking is what breaks me now. I hate how calm you are, and I hate that I still stay, waiting for one small crack in you to prove you feel the same. I hate how calm you are, because it makes me see how easy it might be for you to let go of me, to let go of me. You tell me not to overthink. You sit there like the night belongs to you, like you and quiet made a deal. And I keep trying to read your face for something tender, something real. I talk too much when I am hurting. You say too little when you are done. And somehow that makes your distance feel stronger than anyone. I'm jealous of your silence, of how cleanly you can hide, while I wear every feeling like tears against my eyes. You make me jealous of your silence, how it never begs or pleads, how it never shakes at midnight, how it never has my needs. You make me jealous of your silence, of its cold and steady grace, while I'm breaking in plain view, trying not to lose my place. I wish I could go quiet too, without my chest giving me away, without my voice turning fragile every time we drift this way. But I was not built for distance, I was built to hold and ask. And loving someone heartless turns tenderness into a task. You say less, I feel more, and somehow I know that lie. You make me jealous of your silence, how it never begs or pleads, how it never shakes at midnight, how it never has my needs. You make me jealous of your silence, of its cool and steady grace. Oh, I really cannot blame you, trying not to lose my eyes. Not that you are cruel, but that you can stay so still while I fall apart beside you, and you believe it will. And I know, maybe silence is your armor, maybe this is how you cope, but it feels like I'm drowning while you stand there on the shore. You make me jealous of your silence, and I hate myself for that, for envying the very thing that keeps your love held back. You make me jealous of your silence, and maybe you don't mean this. I am tired of being the only one who sounds like she will miss. I used to think I looked stronger than the girls in love songs do, like I would never be the woman waiting up and shaking over you. But here I am in the bathroom light, trying not to make a sound, with mascara on a paper towel and your distance all around. So much for all the cool I had. Love made me softer, love made me sad. Hard girls don't cry like this, don't fall this far, don't lose their grip, don't check the phone, don't read the tone, don't turn one silence into this. Hard girls don't cry like this, but I do tonight, because loving someone careless can make the strongest woman slide. You'd probably say I'm overreacting if you saw me now like this, but pain looks quiet from the outside when you are not the one it hits. I hate how weak I feel around you, how every shift gets under skin, like I was someone whole before this, and now I'm learning how to thin. I used to be less that you never have to show. Maybe strength is not in hiding. Maybe strength is letting it be known. It's hard to watch myself become this open, this undone, for someone who can leave me and still sleep when the day is done. Hard girls don't cry like this. That's what I tell the lies. But tears don't care for reputation. And me that does the best. Hard girls don't cry like this. Maybe soundscapes too. And maybe I'm just one more woman who loved too much of you. I don't know if you're heartless or hurt, and maybe that's why I stay. 'Cause every cruel thing you don't say still leaves too much room for faith. Some nights I think you're only tired. Some nights I think you never cared. Some nights I see a wounded boy. Some nights just someone not there. And I keep spinning between those two, trying to decide what's true of you. I don't know if you're heartless or hurt, if you're empty or afraid, if I'm loving someone broken or just someone walking away. I don't know if you're heartless or hurt, but either way I'll be trying to make sense of what you do to me. It would be easier to leave if I could hate you clean, but complicated love survives and never maybe in between. You hold me like you mean it sometimes, then vanish while you're still here. And I swear that kind of almost is the hardest thing to bear. If you would just break me in two, at least I know what to do. I don't know if you're heartless or hurt, if you're empty or afraid, if I'm loving someone broken, but just someone walking away. I don't know if you're heartless or hurt, but either way never will. But confusion is its own wound, and the home goes still. I don't know if you're heartless or hurt. I just know I'm tired through being the softest person in a love that hardens you. I watch the way you laugh with her, like nothing in you weighs, like love has never made you tired, like you never changed your face. You look so light around her, so natural, so free. And I hate how different that is from the version I receive. I keep asking what she does right, when all I do is lose sleep at night. You make her look easy, you make me feel hard, like I am too much feeling for your half-open heart. You make her look easy while I come apart, trying to understand why loving me feels dark. Maybe she does not ask questions, maybe she knows how to float. Maybe she does not hear the distance and every change inside your tone. I wish I could be lighter, less attached, less aware, but I am not built to stand beside you and pretend there's nothing there. Open heart. There's a difference in your hands now, a carefulness I know, the way people touch something fragile when they're afraid to let it show. You still call me in the evening, still ask me how my day has been, but there's a mercy in your voice now, where desire used to live. I wish I didn't notice, I wish I couldn't tell, but women like me hear everything and carry it too well. I can tell when you're being kind instead of in love, and it hurts in such a quiet way. No harsh words, no leaving lights, just less of you each day. I can tell when you're being kind instead of in love, and maybe that's the worst, how gently someone can let go while still saying all the words. You smile at me so softly, like you're hoping I won't break, like tenderness can hold together what your heart no longer makes. I sit beside you feeling foolish for still wanting what was there, for still hoping one more moment might mean more than just your care. But kindness is not closeness, and mercy is not fire, and I am getting tired of living off what's left inside you. I can tell when you're being kind instead of in love, and it hurts in such a quiet way. No harsh words, no leaving lights, just less of you each day. I can tell when you're being kind instead of in love, and maybe that's the worst, how gently someone can let go while still saying all the words. Maybe I would hate you, maybe hate would help me heal. You are soft in all the wrong places, and that makes this too real. I can tell when you're being kind instead of in love, and I hate that I still stay waiting for your tenderness to meet the old way. I can tell when you're being kind instead of in love, and now I know the cost, how warmth can still surround you while you're standing there getting lost. You said I made things heavier, like feeling is some crime, like my heart should know its place and stay smaller in your life. But I was not asking for forever, I was asking to be seen, and men call women complicated when they mean inconvenient. I am not too much, I am just clear, and people like you only like softness at a distance here. I was not hard to love, just hard to ignore, too honest, too open, too alive at your door. I was not hard to love, just hard to ignore, and maybe that is why you kept me half closed and never more. I know I came with questions, I know I wanted truth, but wanting to feel safe with you should not have made me difficult. You like me best in fragments, pretty quiet, easy to hold. Not when I had a real heart or a real fear of being left cold. You wanted warmth without the weight, you wanted closeness without the ache. I was not hard to love, just hard to ignore, too honest, too open, too alive at your door. I was not hard to love, just hard to ignore, and maybe that is why you kept me half closed and never more. Get cold and tense when really we just ask for what love should give. Call that pressure, because meeting a heart would mean having to live in it. I was not hard to love, just hard to ignore, and I am learning now that being deeply felt is not something to be sorry for. I was not hard to love, just hard to ignore. One day that will heal, but tonight it still hurts how little you let yourself feel. I could have been gentle if you had been safe. I could have stayed soft all year. I could have loved you without fear. If fear had not lived here, there was a tender girl in me, ready to believe in trust. But your distance taught my body how to turn to nerves and dust. I did not want to become this hard. I only wanted a safer heart. I could have been gentle if you had been safe. I could have left you clean. I could have stayed the woman I still miss being. I could have been gentle if you had been safe, and that is what I mourned. Not only us, but who I was before. You say you miss my softness, like you did not help it go. Like women just grow edges for no reason. Men should know. I hate how true it is that pain can change your sound. And loving someone heartless can wear the softest person down. Softness I brought to you, the bravest thing will be becoming her again. Without you, I could have been gentle if you had been. Simply by myself, set free. I could have been gentle if you had been safe, but this is what remains: a woman learning how to heal from tenderness and pain. I can feel when you compare me, though you never say a word. Something in your eyes goes colder, like I've already been measured. I start fixing little things, the way I talk, the way I stand, as if I could become less human and more like what you had. I hate the girl I turn into when I can feel I'm losing to the truth. I can feel when you compare me, and it breaks me in my skin, makes me question every softness, every place I've ever been. I can feel when you compare me to a past I cannot beat, and I am so tired of bleeding next to someone I still need. Maybe I imagine pieces, maybe hurt is making shapes, but women know when they are standing in another woman's place. I see it in your hesitation, in the mercy in your tone, like I am being handled gently because you're already gone. You don't say it, still I know, and silent hurt can still cut slow. I can feel when you compare me, and it breaks me in my skin, makes me question every softness, every place I've shake. I can feel when you compare me, and maybe that is why I leave your arms feeling lonelier than I do by myself at night. I can feel when you compare me, and that has made me small in ways I never thought love should make me feel at all. I became insecure in your hands, and I was not before. I used to walk into a room without this ache I carry now. You changed so little on the surface that no one else would understand how someone can undo a woman without ever raising his hand. It was the maybe, it was the doubt, it was the love gone slowly out. I became insecure in your hands. That is the truth of us. Not because I was born this way, but because you made me second guess. I became insecure in your hands, and now I hardly know the girl I was before. Your distance taught me how to go cold. I notice other women more now, the way they laugh, the way they move. Not because I wanna be them, because I'm scared they'd fit you. I hate what that has made of me, how small and frightened I can feel. Love was meant to be a shelter, not a place I disappear. You did not mean to. Maybe that is true, but damage can still happen when someone won't choose. I became insecure in your hands. That is the truth of us. Not because I was born this way, but because you made me second guess. I became insecure. Girl I was before, your distance taught me how to go I would have stayed soft, I would have stayed open, I would have stayed whole. Turned all my mirrors against me, and of your reflection started asking what was wrong. I became insecure in your hands, and now maybe the clear sign that whatever this was supposed to be stopped being love in time. I became insecure in your hands, and still I ache for you. That is how deep a woman can break, trying to be enough for two. hate her for being easy to miss, even if that isn't fair. Even if she never did a thing but once be loved by you somewhere. I hate how she gets to live in the safest part of your mind, untouched by the years, untouched by me, untouched by what love becomes with time. I know this jealousy looks ugly in the light, but heartbreak is not graceful when it keeps you up at night. I hate her for being easy to miss, while I am hard to keep, for living in your softer voice while I lose sleep. I hate her for being easy to miss, and me for staying here, trying to win against a memory that never has to disappear. She does not have to be real anymore. That's what makes this so cruel. She only has to be the version you return to when we bruise. And I am left with all the living, all the effort, all the fear, all the ways a present woman can still vanish year by year. I know she's not the one to blame, but pain does not always stay fine. I hate her for being easy to miss, while I am hard to keep, for living in your softer voice while I lose sleep. I hate her for being easy to miss, and leave for staying here, trying to win against a memory it never has to disappear. To be jealous of a woman who may not think of you at all, while you are losing pieces of yourself inside the shadow of her home. I cannot stop, because every time you drift I feel her rise where I should have been. I hate her for being easy to miss, and maybe I hate this more. Loving someone half in the past turns her own heart into a hate her for being easy to miss. But I know the saddest part, if you had loved me fully, there would have been no room for her. You made me feel replaceable without ever saying goodbye. Just in the way your eyes moved past me, like I was already out of sight. There was no one single moment, no obvious betrayal to name, just 1,000 little cuts that all kept spelling out the same. I grew more fragile day by day from all someone I made real. You made me feel replaceable, and that is such a deep disgrace, to keep pouring out your whole heart to someone making room for your place. Now every woman near you feels like a threat I cannot prove, and I hate how fear has taught me to read danger in every room. I was never this suspicious, never this weak before, but being half chosen by the one you love can make you question everything you were. No one sees how this can break a girl who keeps trying to stay. You made me feel replaceable, and I don't know how to heal from being loved like something temporary by someone I made real. You made me feel replaceable, and that is such a deep disgrace, to keep pouring out your whole heart to someone making room for your place. Is I still want you, even after all this pain, even after learning how easily I could be exchanged, that my heart still runs toward the very hand that left me this unsure. You made me feel replaceable, and now I carry that into mirrors, into new rooms, into every place I'm at. Oh, you made me feel replaceable, and maybe that is why, even when I leave you, some part of me still asks why. I was easier before I loved you, before I knew what fear could do, before I checked your face for weather, before another girl felt like truth. I used to laugh without a reason, I used to rest inside my skin. Now every little shift around you feels like somewhere I could lose. I miss the girl who did not know how fast a soft heart could come undone. I was easier before I loved you, softer in a lighter way. Now I carry all this aching through the smallest part of day. I was easier before I loved you, and that may be what I grieve. Not just us, but who I was before I learned to please. that you were always cruel. It's that you made me doubt enough to turn my own heart into a question, and my tenderness into rough. Now I compare myself to strangers, to old stories, to your past. And I hate how loving badly can make a woman fade so fast. I was warm, I was clear before I learned to live in fear. I was easier before I loved you, softer in a lighter way. Now I carry all this aging through the smallest part of day. I was easier before I loved you, and that may be what I agree. Not just us, but who I was before I learned to plead. I will find her again, the version of me that did not need to shrink. But tonight I am still the girl who stayed too long, trying not to sink. I was easier before I left you, and maybe that is why the deepest hurt is not your leaving, but the girl in me who died. I was easier before I loved you, and now I finally see some love does not just break your heart, it breaks your memory of peace. I was crying while you were deciding, but should've told me all I need. I was breaking in plain view, you were just weighing what to keep. I searched your face for any softness, anything that looked like pain, but all I found was tired distance and one hand pulling back again. I was already on my knees while you were still choosing your peace. I was crying while you were deciding, and that is such a cruel thing, to watch me drown in what was ending while you stood there hardly moving. I was crying while you were deciding if I was worth the stay, and I think that is the moment something in me went away. You said you did not mean to hurt me, like that was meant to help. But heartless does not always sound cruel, sometimes it sounds like nothing felt. I hate how clearly I remember the stillness in your chest, like losing me was just a thought. You had not finished with yet. I gave you my fear, my truth, and you gave me a waiting room. I was crying while you were deciding, and that is such a cool thing, to watch me drown in what was ending while you stood Oh, it was worth the stay, and I think that is the moment. Something in me went away. Said you needed time, said you were confused, anything but looking at me like I was just one choice to lose. But you stayed calm enough to teach me this: a person can leave you before they even admit it. I was crying while you were deciding, and now that scene won't fade, because I have never felt so small or so easy to betray. I was crying while you were deciding, and that is how I know our heart had been a deeper place for me than it was for you. I was crying while you were deciding. I was crying while you were deciding. I was crying while you were deciding. You may leave and look like peace, like the kind of thing to do. Like I should thank you for the emptiness you handed to this room. I wanted you to look uncertain. I wanted one last sign. Instead you looked relieved enough to take the ground from mine. I was still inside the brief. You were already calling it peace. You may leave it look like peace, and now I do not trust that word, because some calm is only distance, and some mercy still can hurt. You may leave it look like peace while I was falling hard, and I have never forgiven silence for sounding so much like a heart. You said this was for the best now, like pain could be arranged, like love can be set down politely without the whole world changing. I know maybe you believed it, maybe it helped you leave, but I was not a burden you outgrew. I was somewhat on my knees. You called it peace, I called it loss. You walked away, I paid the cost. You may leave it look like peace, and now I 'cause some calm is only distance, and some mercy still can hurt. You may leave it look like peace while I was falling hard, and I have never forgiven silence for sounding so much like a How pretty it all sounded, how mature, how measured, how wise, while I was still just a woman, losing the safest part of her life. And that is what undoes me still, not the leaving, but how beautiful you made it feel. You made leaving look like peace, and that's why I still shake when anyone says some endings happen for our sake. You made leaving look like peace, and every night was your gift. So walk away without your hands looking like they're You made leaving look like peace, yeah. You made You made leaving look like peace. 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 You made leaving. You made leaving look like peace. You made leaving look like peace. You made You made leaving look like peace. You let me love you past the end. That is something I can't forgive. You knew before I knew, and still let me keep giving. I was making plans inside a life you had already left in your mind, and that kind of quiet betrayal is the hardest one to find. I kept building, you kept still. I called it hope, you called it will. You let me love you past the end, and I am still ashamed of how long I stood there faithful while you had already changed. held me with your history. You gave me all the motions without the meaning underneath. And I hate that part of me still wants to call it love. Maybe it was only your guilt making sure I broke down soft. No warning, no line, just my whole heart out laced in yours. In time you let me on, you past the end, and I am still ashamed of how long I scarred that faithful while you had all that it changed. You let me on, you past the end, and that is such a cruel thing to let a woman keep on moving. In a winter you can feel coming to tell me sooner, to let me hurt once instead of little by little. Not just the ending, but the humiliation of loving harder than you did. You love me louder past the end, and then maybe that's the sky. Thought that you stopped, but that you let me keep not knowing where we were. You let me love you past the end, and now I see it plain. Heartless is not always leaving. Sometimes it's letting someone stay. It came dressed as kindness. It came with forward eyes. It came in careful language and all the gentlest lies. No anger in the doorway, no wreckage on the floor, just that slow, unbearable feeling of not being wanted anymore. Some moves arrive without a blade. Some people leave like mercy made. Heartless in a soft voice, that is what it was. A tender way of ending, a cold disguised as love. Heartless in a soft voice, and I still hear it now. Every time the quiet settles, I remember how it sounded coming down. Something sharper, something easier to hate, but all I got was patience and a grief too small to blame. There is no clean surviving a goodbye. goodbye that sends that sweet. It leaves a girl still reaching for warmth that used to mean something too calm, too kind, too little left to call it mine. Heartless in a soft voice, that is what it was. A tender way of ending the cold disguised as love. Heartless in a soft voice, and I still hear it now. Every time the quiet settles, I remember how it sounded. Coming down. What if you've lost her? Maybe I could have turned away. Stays much longer because it doesn't know it's in. Heartless in a soft voice, and maybe that is why the memory still undoes me on the slowest nights. Heartless in a soft voice, and all I can defend is how something beautiful could still become the end. It came just as kindness. There was no one thing to point at, no one line to prove the change. Just the slow confusion of a heart trying to make distance make sense. I wish the pain were simpler. I wish the answer had a face instead of all these layered feelings I keep carrying place to place. It's hard to tell where hurt begins when half of love still lingers in it. Hard to explain, easy to feel. That is what this was. 1,000 small uneven hurts, all dressed in formal love. Never picked a side. Part of me still wants to defend it. Part of me knows better now. Part of me still hears affection in the shape of what let me down. This is why I could not leave fast, why I kept holding through the pain. Complicated love is hardest because it never breaks one away. One has stillborn, one heart already gone. aside. I still replay it, looking for clean truth. I still replay it. I still replay it. I still They still replay it. There was no one thing to point at.